Okay, so thank you, dear Miia, for your time. And here we are all ready. So when you are ready, please, the floor is yours. Yeah,
Okay, so
we can
my
hear
name
you.
is Miia Rossi Gray. I work for the European Commission. You can hear me now. Okay, wonderful. I work for the European Commission. I work in the Directorate General for Employment, Social Affairs, Inclusion and Skills. And I work in a unit on inclusive and social entrepreneurship. So one of the main initiatives that we have in our unit that we are working on at the moment is the Social Economy Action Plan. And I was really pleased to be invited to speak at your international symposium. It's not perhaps the same kind of audience that I talk to on a daily basis, so it's very interesting to be able to present our work to you. So just to give you first a little bit of background about how this action plan for social economy came about. So we have this action plan has been in the making for already a couple of years. The European Commission has already worked to support social economy since for several years, and most significantly since 2011 Social Business Initiative. And our current commissioner, Nicola Schmidt, used to be the employment minister for Luxembourg, and he has social economy really close to his heart. And he was mandated by the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen to develop an action plan to support the social economy. So we have a really high kind of political backing to support social economy. And I'm delighted to tell you that at the European Commission, all the way from the president to us kind of regular civil servants, there is quite a lot of enthusiasm to support social economy at the moment. And this action plan, which we have just started to implement, is really the main initiative on this road. So I think it's particularly important that we have, as I said, we have been preparing this initiative already for a couple of years. We have had extensive stakeholder consultations and public consultations, and we have conducted studies to find how we can best support social economy. And the political momentum is very high. But I think this new economic paradigm in the context of the green and digital transitions has really highlighted the importance of social economy, and also the recovery from COVID pandemic has been particularly significant. Social economy has played an important role there, and unfortunately, the terrible war that we are witnessing at the moment in Ukraine, there are many social economy organizations that are really helping the refugees on the ground as well, and so the kind of context for social economy is perhaps more urgent and more important than ever in our policy making. So I mentioned this action plan, and you can see, I think you can see my slides. I'm going to move to package with 3 elements. Basically, we adopted this action plan on 9th of December. And the package that was adopted at the time is the communication, the action plan itself, which includes some 62 different actions to support social economy across Europe. I'm not trying to go through every single one of those actions. It's really quite comprehensive, but I will highlight some of the most important ones of those to you. At the same time, we also adopted a staff working document. A company. Can you hear me?
Yes, maybe you could just your presentation put on the full screen.
I will do that. For some reason,
we're out now.
I'm going to stop and try again. I will try again.
Yeah, maybe you can first put the full screen and then share. Yeah, that's better.
You can see the full screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm hoping that you can see it properly now. So the other document that was adopted at the time was a staff working document, which basically includes all the details about the consultation process. So if you are interested in the staff working document accompanying the action plan, you can find about how we decided to make the action plan as it is, and what are the kind of all the responses to the public consultations, what were the concerns that were raised by the stakeholders regarding the support they need. And a third document that was adopted at the time is scenario toward a transition pathway for a more resilient, sustainable and digital proximity and social economy industrial ecosystem. That's quite a long name for a document, I know, but just to explain in a nutshell what it is, it basically recognizes the social economy as one of the 14 industrial ecosystems in the EU. And it aims to support the implementation of the green and digital aims of the action plan. So that is it. So I think the next important point is on why do we need an action plan for the social economy? Why do we think it's important to support the sector so significantly? So of course, we're aware that in addition to creating a positive social impact, there is also a very important untapped economic and job creation potential of social economy. There are estimated to be some 13.6 million paid jobs across the EU in social economy entities, and it includes some 2.8 million organizations and entities in Europe, which is on average 6.3% of the workforce, and between 0.6 and 9.9% of all jobs across the member states. And so obviously, as we can see from here, there's quite big differences between the member states in regarding the extent to which the potential of the social economy has been mobilized. So it is clear that there are some member states where we can do more to help. There's more room for the social economy to develop. And the social economy makes an important contribution to quality social services, integration of young people and disadvantaged groups, and it also supports the implementation of the 2030 headline targets of the Sustainable Development Goals. So it really is a very important kind of area for the European Union. We are aware that there are big differences in the member states, and many of the organizations still face difficulties in developing and scaling up their activities. So social economy really needs still more and better support to grow and thrive and to have an even bigger and better impact on society. So what are we then talking about when we talk about the social economy? How do we define it? So what we are really referring to here are entities which put their social and environmental purpose, so basically people and the planet, before profit. They reinvest most of their profit back into the organization or the social cause that they support, and they have a democratic or a participatory form of governance. And this includes a wide range of organizations. It can be social enterprises, cooperatives, mutual benefit societies, foundations, or associations. And what unites these different types of organizations is that they put people first. And the social economy landscape in Europe is very diverse. We're trying to cover all of the EU with the action plan. However, we are very aware that countries have different traditions and even terminology, and we aim to recognize this heterogeneity. So we're not trying to make one size fit all. And I think what is also important to highlight is that these social economy organizations that fulfill the definition that I just said, they are active really in a multitude of economic sectors. And I think many of us are aware of work integration social enterprises, and we are probably aware also of the recycling and kind of a circular economy work that many of these social economy entities are undertaking. But really, they are active in a huge range of economic sectors, including agriculture, forestry, energy and climate, waste management, wholesale and retail trade, financial and insurance activities, banking, human health, social services, arts, culture. I could go on for ages. I have even been informed that there are some social economy organizations that are active in space industry. There are some cooperatives that are active in the field of space technology. So it really is covering. There are social economy active in a whole range of economic sectors. And so without further ado, then I will move on to the actual action plan itself that I mentioned. So in the action plan that I mentioned, it has 62 different activities, which are divided into sort of 3 different pillars. So I will not try to cover all the actions. I will just highlight 1 or 2 important examples from each one of these 3 pillars. So we have framework conditions, we have opening up opportunities, we have recognition and awareness raising. And to start with the framework conditions, it is very important to develop the policy and legal frameworks in which social economy organizations operate. The evidence shows that the importance of improving the enabling environment for social economy to thrive it's extremely important. It's crucial, really. Legal frameworks form an essential part of this environment, but adapting legal frameworks to the needs of the social economy, it's not an easy task. And this is partly due to the fact that they're active in so many different economic sectors that I mentioned. It's very hard. There are a whole range of policies in which policymakers have to take social economy entities into account. And here, for the public authorities, it's really at the EU level, there's only so much we can do. Ultimately, the free legal frameworks are the competence of EU member states. So they have really the key role to play in ensuring that rules and policies are adapted to the needs of social economy. But we can, as the European Commission, we can still help and support and encourage and guide member states to in their work in adapting the legal and policy frameworks. So the European Commission is planning to adopt a council recommendation on developing social economy framework conditions. This is foreseen for next year. And here we will invite policymakers to adapt the policy and legal frameworks to social economy entities. We're going to provide recommendations in relation to specific policies, such as employment policy, state aid, public procurement, taxation, skills, care and social services, financial and non-financial support, and statistics. We will also highlight how institutional setups and stakeholder engagement can facilitate the work of social economy entities. And we are going to support this through encouraging mutual learning, and we are going to provide guidance and support to member states through webinars and workshops for public officials. We have already done quite a lot over the last 10 years to develop guidance, but with the council recommendation, we are trying to have kind of one framework for all and try to guide, try to have the essential in one document as steer towards all the guidance and support that exists in this field. Then regarding the improving access to finance, of course, the European Union has already done quite a lot to support social economy. Here, the main instrument are the structural funds, cohesion policy funds. So in particular, the European Social Fund is a very important instrument. And for instance, in the kind of previous programming period, it's always done we have this multi-annual financial framework, which is the EU budget for a 7-year period. And under the previous 7-year period, under the European Social Fund, 1 billion euros was programmed across the EU to support social economy. And this was really a game changer in many countries, we have been told, to help to develop a good kind of framework for social economy. But we are trying to improve it even more and try to support social economy also through other funds and not only ESF+. So the Regional Development Fund, Erasmus+, Horizon Europe, Single Market Programme, and also the regional development fund. And we also have this Invest EU program, which is more about financial products and financial instruments. So it's repayable finance to support social economy organizations. There are some new financial products that aim to mobilize private finance in support of social economy. And this third pillar that I mentioned was enhancing awareness and recognition. So we are aware that even though a lot of work has been done, there's still some gaps in the knowledge and understanding of social economy. So the general public, including young and disadvantaged people, but also stakeholders and funders and even policymakers, still have an insufficient awareness and understanding of the positive impact of the social economy. And this, of course, if policymakers and general public are not aware of the positive impact, it's very difficult for them to make good policies or to really support the social economy. So we are aware that there still has to be more done to boost the visibility of social economy and to ensure that it remains a priority policy. So one action is to launch. We're planning to launch a new study to collect quantitative and qualitative information about social economy, covering all EU member states. There will also be a specific study on philanthropic donations in the EU. And the Commission will continue to encourage member states to measure social economy on the ground in the member states themselves. And all of this will be supported by regular communication activities about social economy. And finally, then the way forward. So really this social economy action plan, it was adopted in the end of last year, and we have assigned a roughly 10-year timeframe. So it extends to 2030, when then perhaps a new policy approach will be taken. And we will do a sort of midterm evaluation in 2025 to see whether the support that has been adopted up to then is the correct way to support social economy. And the action plan, like I mentioned, it was developed in very close cooperation with stakeholders. So we really listened to the social economy actors themselves and to member states and citizens, and really we collected a lot of input and from the field to develop the action plan. And we need to do the same when we implement it. So we're really looking forward to get a buy-in from social economy actors themselves and from member states and regional governments to really support and endorse and carry out the action plan. So we're planning to fully join forces with the EU member states. And that's about it. That's pretty much now the way forward. We are counting on the enthusiasm of member states and stakeholders on the ground. And finally, I will just show you what are the key actions foreseen under the action plan for this year and next. So you will see that already this year, we're planning to do a Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy, which will bring together member states, authorities active in the field of youth entrepreneurship, and get them to share their best experiences and practices in supporting youth entrepreneurship with a specific focus on social entrepreneurship. And we intend to launch webinars and workshops for public officials to help them adapt their policies and support mechanisms for social economy. There will be a new European Competence Center for Social Innovation, new financial products. And next year, there will be this council recommendations that I mentioned, and EU Social Economy Gateway, which will kind of bring together all the different information regarding social economy under one website, basically. So that's really the Social Economy Action Plan in a nutshell. It's always challenging to try to present such a broad, all-encompassing policy initiative in a short time. I don't know if we have time for questions, or otherwise, let me just finish on this slide. Here you can also find more information. You can find all the documents that I mentioned.
Okay, thank you. We do have, maybe again.
Thank you.
We do have time for question if anyone of the public have a question or commentary. I saw that the European Commission is looking forward toward the ethical banks at the European level, and so we have here persons that are involved in creating ethical banks in Croatia and across Europe. So probably they can contact you for any information or support when they need. Yeah.
Absolutely. If I'm not able to help, I will at least be able to direct you to a colleague who would be able to answer questions.
Yeah, great. So, no questions? Yes, Christian. Maybe you could come here. Is it a problem? Because we are filming on a screen. So, drugi. This is just for camera. There you go. Maybe you can sit
into the microphone.
Yeah.
And into the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello.
Just. Yeah.
From the movement economy for the common good. And my question is the definition and distinction of social economy actors. If I followed you correctly, I understood that the definition is mainly according to the legal form, like a cooperative or a foundation or a not-for-profit association. And my comment is we know cooperatives that are quite for-profit oriented, and we know capital companies that are quite common good oriented. That's why we propose a different form of distinction from profit-oriented and common good-oriented companies, which is a reporting practice, a common good balance sheet, and then a cooperative can have a very high score or a very low score, and even a limited company can have a high score or a very low score. And that would be the link to the CSRD, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, rather than creating sectors of social economy, circular economy, maybe other sectors, but there is no whole. And that is my question. There was an opinion of the European Economic and Social Committee on the economy for the common good, and we tried to contact the European Commission, and we informed many times, but in the end we did not succeed. And questions if you heard about the economy for the common good, and what you think about an overall approach rather than a sectoral approach, an overall approach. The CSRD is probably the most concrete question that would hold true for all companies, but still in the revised form, which is now in the pipeline, no incentive mechanism whatsoever is foreseen. So the highest scoring company will not get a better treatment than the lowest scoring company, and that, in our view, that would be the most important design feature of a reporting duty of companies. Because why do they report if then the company that is the most sustainable company is not treated better than the company with the poorest result? And that is actually the core design feature of our approach. And asking back if you heard about it, or if there is still an entry point to include it. Thank you.
Okay, let me just I will start again from the if I may return to my earlier point about the definition for social economy. I will start by that, if that's okay. So I mentioned different legal forms, and there I also meant to say that it doesn't the legal form is not the only approach. In addition, in order to be considered social economy organization from the point of view of the support that we provide, there is also the element that most of the profit has to be invested into good causes, either reinvested back into the company or for the social cause that it is supporting, and it needs to have a democratic or participatory governance method. So it's not just, we are aware that there are some cooperatives that are not particularly social economy, so it's not enough for them just to have this legal form to be considered kind of social economy and eligible for the kind of support that we provide. So I will just start by that point. And then what comes to the broader kind of framework of companies and moving to how to treat kind of more ethical companies and those that are performing better in terms of sustainability. I must admit that this is not exactly, unfortunately, a lot of the times at the Commission, we are very specialized in our own area, and we don't. I don't. It's not really kind of the core competence of my Directorate General, who is really dealing with employment, social affairs, and inclusion. So that would be more maybe for the Directorate General for GROW. But of course, we are aware that social economy practices, many of these practices that stem from social economy, also inspire other companies to take kind of social issues and environmental issues more into account, and make efforts in this field, also in corporate social responsibility. And there's also the whole B Corp movement, and so on. And there are other. There is the non-financial reporting directive, which concerns those kind of bigger kind of mainstream companies, which to some extent addresses this issue. But of course, I understand your concern about how even if some companies are performing better, they do not get treated differently. And I mean, all I can say is that I take your kind of comment and concern on board, and I mean, I understand. But I'm sorry that I can't give you a better answer right now.
That's a
because
good
it's not the mainstream companies are not really kind of my core competence.
Yeah, thank you very much. I might get back to you via email.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, thank you for the question.
Thank you for your time, and we have no more questions, so thank you once again. I would be so free to send your contact information to all participants if they have any additional question or suggestion or something like that, comment. So thank you again, and see you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.